Usually I start this segment by singing a carol very poorly, or by, just telling you guys that, referencing the fact that today is Christmas Day, at least, when the video comes up. And we're back. We're back to do a Christmas tradition here on this channel. And what is the Christmas tradition here on this channel is we talk about a blaster related deck. So normally it used to be PBO, then it was MLB, but finally, 3 years later, Hidani has remembered me. And today, perhaps I'll remember him. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Z4 here. Today I am back to talk about Phantom Blaster Overlord in DivineZ proper. That means a lot to me. I never thought I'll get to say that again, but I'll talk about it much more later in the video. First and foremost, Merry Christmas, because at the point of this video being uploaded, it is Christmas. I'm filming this video as part of the November-December promo wave in Japan, which means that I'm currently shouting Merry Christmas to a camera on the 2nd of November, which makes no sense, but again, it don't matter. So today I'm here to talk about Phantom Blaster Overlord because it has been three years since his last card was printed. Now, this is our brand new card. This is Judgment Hades Dragon Vanguard, and you can see his serial years 2025. Well, I have some fun news for you. The very last time Phantom Blaster Overlord got a card was back in 2022. 2023, the start of 2023. But this is the reprint for 2023. This is the one in Triple Drive Booster. So this was last printed in January/December 2023, and this is December 2025. If you've noticed something, we skipped the entire format. Yeah, Kidani just said, no, fuck him, he don't deserve it. So he skipped us for the entire format, and now we're back. So, yeah, honestly, it's good to be back. I really didn't, ever since I saw the support for Draconic Overlord, which I'll put the link in the description for the Draconic Overlord video, I really thought that that would be our fate as well. I really thought that, we would get such a cool magazine promo. No, instead we got this. I'll talk about this promo down the line, but I want to make something clear. I am very grateful for this support. I know that may not come apparent, but I am. I really did not think we would get this card this year. Frankly, I thought it was over for PBO. I thought they wanted to, as what the English say on Twitter, sunset your deck, which, to the Japanese, that's like a death sentence to us. If you tell us your deck's being sunsetted, we will murder somebody, right? But, fine. I'm glad we are not being sunsetted. So, yeah. Very, very happy for that. So, without further ado, I'm going to do this video differently. I'll talk about this guy first because it has been 3 long years. And then after that, I will talk about the applications. And I will show you the full deck list. Okay, I will just give you the full deck list. I know normally during discussion videos, I don't give a deck list. But I will, because this was supposed to be a deck profile, but I realized there's so much to talk about this one guy, I have to. So I'm just gonna be generous and just give it to you. And it's not like PBO is gonna win WGP anyway. I know there's some like mad people on Twitter and like Reddit going, hey guys, PBO is the best deck format. It's not. It's not. Okay? Just because you team up with EVA players who sack people to high hell does not make you the best in format. It's not how it works, okay? It's not how it works. But this deck is also capable of sacking like EVA. So that is good news for us, okay? It's good news for us because, very frankly, if you cannot play like Prison, if you cannot play like Basagra, the only thing you're left to do competitively is just sack. So let's talk about it. Judgment Hades Dragon Vanguard is the tournament promo from November-December 2025. Again, I'm very, very grateful for this support. I packed 3 of these and I bought a 4th. Or okay, let me be more accurate. I packed 3 of these and I bought a 4th. Okay, so it's not like I didn't go out my way to play for this promo season. In fact, this was probably one of the main reasons why I went out to really play this promo season, is because of him. It was very unfortunate and very unpleasant of a promo season because all my tournaments were just Prison, Basagra, Halulu, Prison, Basagra, Halulu. And then there's this one guy on freaking Argo Sirens, which is like, what the hell, man? But sure, whatever. Vanguard has 4 skills, and I tried reaching out to some of my friends in English who, had a translation on hand. They didn't. Apparently this card was just way too long. So I'm going to read to you every skill. Please bear with me. Generally, please bear with me because there's a lot. The first continuous skill says, if you have a Vanguard with only Shadow Paladin as its clan, this card is also counted as a Shadow Paladin, right? It's only from Shadow Paladin. I'll go through each skill one by one. Okay. The second skill says, when placed on the Vanguard circle, if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in its card name, put a card from your hand to the soul, draw a card, and this unit gets 5,000 power. And that's the second skill. The third skill says, if you retire this unit for the cost of your ability with Blaster in its name, this unit may be counted as 2 units. And the last skill, when this unit is retired from your Vanguard circle by the ability of your Vanguard with Blaster in its name, Energy Blast 3, choose a Blaster Dark on your Vanguard circle, and it gets, when this unit attacks for this battle, it can perform drive checks. At the end of the battle that this unit attacks, retire this unit. Right, I understand it was very long. I tried my best to phrase it in a way that it makes sense for English, because very similarly, but somewhat different from from JP, is that for Vanguard we tend to do a one-to-one translation. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh, where we straight up just, oh yeah, here's our brackets, enjoy brackets. But we don't have that in Vanguard, in Japanese, so whatever. Now, let's talk about this guy for real, because there is a lot to unpack with 4 skills. First and foremost, thank you. Thank you, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. And thank you, Mr. Kidani, who's still typing on Twitter. They made our first official Neo Shadow Paladin, which means a lot. It means a lot to me. If you don't know what I'm talking about, for those of you who are semi-aware of like modern support, you would know that a lot of the modern clan support cards straight up now count themselves as members of a clan that used to exist on Crave. And I know what you're thinking, Ahmed, you must be batshit insane. I've never heard of these cards. Well, too bad, because I have. So for example, in Narukami, we have cards like Spike Dragon, and we have cards like Kashin, who are both Dragon Empire, but by allegiance, they swear themselves as Narukami as long as your Vanguard is also a historical Narukami. Thematically, it means a lot, right? It means that the units on Krei, despite them having the whole nation system, still find themselves strongly associated to a clan from 3,000 years ago, which, as a old ass Vanguard fan, thematically it means a lot to me. I am very grateful that, like, oh my, I can play with modern clan units. And it means even more to me because if you've read The Elderly, right, the old Krei Cross Epic story, The Elderly, which used to be on the Vanguard lore site, but I have no idea what happened to it, you would actually know that there used to be new Shadow Paladins. There actually was a group of 5 of them that started in year 1, right? Back when Phantom Blaster Dragon came out, there was a group of 5 of them who were gathering blaster armaments for Youthberg in set 6, right? So from set 2 to set 5, there were about 5 of them in total, and all of them worked together to help accumulate blaster artifacts that dropped from the sanctuary, and they built and hacked Youthberg. But they never were printed in modern day. They were printed in 2021, which means none of them can call themselves a modern Shadow Paladin. They are in lore, like thematically, you look at them, and in lore, they are affiliated to the Shadow Paladin as a new generation of Shadow Paladin. But this is straight up, in your face, a Shadow Paladin in modern day, who swears allegiance to the first Grand Master of Shadow Paladin, if you know history, Blaster Dark. Again, I cannot stress to you how amazing that is for an old school Vanguard player like me, because I really wanted them to do modern Shadow Paladins, especially when they started doing modern Go Paladin, modern Narukami, modern Genesis. This is the first modern Shadow Paladin. And I know what you're thinking, Ahmed, you're wasting my freaking time. I don't care about what you feel about cards being affiliated to a fictional group. You should really do your homework and start telling me how I can win a W. You know what this does, right? Yeah. So the biggest issue with Phantom Blaster Overlord's previous support is in the form of Kriduna, which I have done a video on, links in the description. That's the old PBO video. Kriduna used to be the only way you can give your Blaster Darks drive check, which again, that is a reference to the 4th skill. And so now you have a total of not just the original 4 Kriduna that you play in your deck, you now also have Vergadale, right, who is copies 5, 6, 7, and 8 of Creduna, which means no matter what, you will be able to perform drive checks on Blaster Dart, which is huge because we just doubled the consistency of this deck. In the past, if you did not draw Creduna going second, you lose the game, okay? You straight up lose. You can go get crucified like Jesus Christ too. Straight up, it is death sentence for you. But now, with Vergadale, you have not only 5, 6, 7, and 8 ways to do your drive checks per turn, by the way. You have a searcher for it in the form of Daira, which I will talk about later. She has been a huge blessing. But that is really insane, okay? That is a really big implication. The reason why I stress so much about it being a modern Shadow Paladin because it is searchable, okay? That means something for this deck because if you know anything about PBO, you know this deck has batshit consistency, terrible plussing, and no real way to kill beyond some madman saying, guys, we should play Tayfort, we should play Nebula Knight's Order, we should play Catapult, we should play Cellgown, which if you do sit down and write the math, it is all anti-synergistic, okay? It is all anti-synergistic. You are just forcing Catapult into a deck that realistically is put under too much strain by playing Catapult, right? I'm being completely objective here. You cannot play Catapult with this deck as long as you play something like Blaster Javelin, which means you need to change the right deck, which, you know, to some purists does steal a lot of the identity of this deck, so I don't want to get into politics. But the fact that it is a Shadow Paladin means that this is really God meant for you, and I'm really, really glad for that. The second skill is really simple. It's just another way to move a card from hand to the soul. So again, if they're going to Force Spring Legacy PBO support and not do the whole Scarlet Flam style support, which if you know from if you know from Skywrite, links description to the previous Recording Overlord video, you know that that's how they now cheat out their original form. But for some reason, Kidani does not want us on that source yet, so that's completely fine. I mean, as long as they print us ways to move cards from hand to soul, like, you know, they printed Coco back in set 6, DZ BTO 6, and I spent my time in Osaka there just marveling at her art on the train stations. But realistically speaking, if they keep printing cards like this, then we no longer feel ashamed to throw out cards like the main, who is pretty dated for a card. So I am pretty happy that modern support, at least if they are not willing to change the card design, they double down on the card design. I think, very frankly, that helps, okay? That helps enough, alright? The third skill where it says counts as 2 bodies instead of 1. Again, this is just for PBO. The PBO requires you to kill 2 bodies to bring back Blaster Dart. Is it a -1? Yes, but we don't care because as long as you have guys who count as 2 bodies, you know, it helps. And again, who else counts as 2 bodies? Creduna. So again, it seems like half of this card is just Creduna. The other half of this card, it gives you the modern Shadow Paladin tag, and then it gives you the energy cost, which if you know anything about PBO, not getting a card in 3 years, you know that we just never had a card that costs energy. For people who watch my previous PBO video, first of all, thank you. Secondly, you know that we used to play Radia in this deck, straight up, right? And even there was a guy in Singapore who went like 9-0 with PBO. I'm pretty sure he played Energy Cyclers too. I mean, I really doubt he didn't play an Energy Cycler, right? I mean, come on, we have energy, you have to use it as a resource. That being said though, the fact that we now have a guy who is in archetype using energy as well matters a lot, right? It's a lot like the Felty Rosa problem where for the last, 19 sets, she straight up had no energy user until Agate, which, although Agate is terribly anti-synergy, at least it is an energy user. The same with Vergadale. Vergadale being an energy user really helps the deck because this deck like to play going first and second because of cards like Creduna. And not to mention, PBO's final effect to gain 10,000 power is also tied to going second, which means that this deck historically has always had more power going second than first. So, when we bring all of that together, having a guy that supplements every part of the game plan, from energy to the soul usage to the double corpses to being Shadow Paladin to even having the claws, helps a lot. It really does, which is why it is now like 15 minutes at this point to the video. I'm still talking about this guy because this is insane for support. I mean, to be fair, they took 3 years of your life from this. Okay, I straight up managed to change jobs and get promoted And this is still here. Like, it's insane. Like, I cannot believe it that they took this long to make Legacy support. You know what though? I don't care. I'm just really happy that this Christmas I get to talk about PBO again. Because I've always wanted to do that, right? So, the moment you all will skip to, because I know none of you are going to sit through and listen to my explanation on this card. But if you did, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much, you know. The whole reason why I even do videos is because I play test these decks at tournaments or events or, you know, under a lot of games. And then after about a good number of games, I can really sit down and present the deck. So, you know, I do share my inputs. If you disagree with my input, that's fine, right? But at least you listened. At least you got to hear out my side of the story. Of course, if you have a different list, that's completely fine. I don't care what you play. Full Ball, Blaster Javelin, Blasted Dart, and Phantom Blaster Overlord. There are some changes to my right deck for those who are very keen-eyed. First and foremost, in line of Vanguard being its 15th anniversary next month, I went out to buy the 10th anniversary crest. This costs a lot, by the way, but I'm happy. It was a fun purchase for me. Then I also got Blaster Javelin. Huge shoutouts to my supplier, the guy who did the B Heroes video. Yeah, he's the one who got this from me down from Kyoto. So really thank you so much. I've been missing this card in my right deck for so many years. I won this from an event, this full ball. So it was really weird that I just had a random holo Blaster Javelin, and he was like, you know what, I'll solve that for you for this video. So thank you so much. I hope you're watching this video. Thank you so much. But as you can see, the right deck for PBO stays the same because it is still the same deck, right? So I'll just put the right deck here, just so we can burn through time quicker. Just put it here. There we go. All right, our grade 3 is very simple. 3 PBO, unique persona right in this deck. That's not for debate. For Vergadale, if you've somehow managed to skip the entire this video's premise, I don't know what you're doing. For PBD, this is really a garnet, but you need this at 4 because you need to hard open it, and then after that you need to put it into your soul. And because of the fact that we removed Drilling Angel this set, you don't have a way to move it from the drop zone into the soul, right? So every movement for PBD now has to come from the hand. I know most people on planet Earth will say, Ahmed, just give up Phantom Blaster Dragon, do not bother. But if you're playing to sack like Eva, which as I mentioned, this deck can sack like Eva, it is actually very easy to just cheat the PBD into the soul and then just, you know, carry an extra crit with you. I mean, I don't mind an extra crit, and it's not like this deck is dying for deck space anyways because there's so little cards that actually synergize with this deck, legitimately. Our grade 2s, we obviously play 4 copies of Deira. Now, I'm using the word obviously because a lot of people have said, oh, it was obvious this was always in the deck, but Deira is somebody that is a new addition to this deck for myself, because this is the first time we have more Shadow Paladin names as a ratio as compared to not, which is why I can justify playing her in the deck. She searches the top 5 cards of the deck for Shadow Paladin, which, for those of you who, you know, love Ogama, does count your perfect guard, by the way, so you can search this out. And then not only that though, you also, when she attacks a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, she can Soul Blast 1 and get 10,000 power. The Soul Blast does help because if you Soul Blast out Blaster Dart, that does help you get additional free resource since PBO pulls the Blaster Dart out from Soul or Drop Zone. Again, this is a if you know, you know, if you don't know, you don't know, but I just thought for the sake of the audience, I should just tell you everything about my facts and data, right? Because I want to help you guys play this deck too. I really love Blaster Dart, and I hope you guys like him too, because the deck is actually playable now. One extra Blaster Dart in the main deck. I know most people go, Miss, you suck, but you know, I don't want to lose to Shoujo Doji. Okay, I don't want to lose to Draconic Kaiser Vermilion of all people. So when I tell you I'm playing an extra just in case, just let it be. Okay, just let it be. 2 Maple. Now that we have ways to search out Phantom Blaster Overlord via Deira, it makes 100% sense to now play Maple because it is a free body that you can call on board every time you Persona Ride, which makes your Persona Ride a +2 instead of a +1. Not only that, even if you ride up normally from grade 2 to grade 3, you do actually get this activation as well, so it does help. And then of course we have for Kriduna. Kriduna, most people think it's time to cut her from the deck. I strongly disagree. Don't back down, double down. There is no reason why you can't play Vergadale and Kriduna together. There is absolutely enough space in this deck to facilitate it. I don't understand why you need to pick. Okay, because most people out here tell me, you have to choose between 4 of this and 4 of this. Nonsense. I'll take it all. Shadow Paladins are all about greed. Greed, selfishness, hatred, jealousy, anger. You have to greed. Don't back down. Double down. And then of course for our great ones are pretty easy. 4 Radiant. Honestly, this is a card that's gonna get cut very soon. So like I'm just bringing this just an interim. For those of you who watched my previous PBO video, first of all, thank you. It's just something just to carry around just in case. For Perfect Guard, we're playing the Shadow Paladin Perfect Guard because Dara can search it out. Because of the fact that Blaster Javelin calls the top card of your deck, we can't actually play orders in this deck, so no Sanctitude in this deck as well. And very frankly, you don't want Sanctitude in this deck as well because you're planning to kill people as fast as possible. For Coco, Coco is a generic for any form of encounter decks that don't have a G-Zone. Very frankly, Coco is okay in this deck. It does help out. It does help set up Blaster Duck pretty effectively for your turn 2 rush. And for those of you who know what Blaster Duck does in this series, so the fact that we get a guy that can help set up the extra critical trigger means your Psycholia can be completely real. Like I said, the point of this deck now is to sack people to death. Just sack. Just greed. Don't back down. Double down. And then last but not least, our triggers. Our triggers, I mean, this one's pretty obvious, right? This one's just 8 crits. I'm playing the Shadowverse crit again, mostly because this is a deck that I've played in Shadowverse, so I thought it was nice to reference it. But it doesn't matter what crit you play. I play, oopsie daisies. I play 4 heal, because as much as we want to greed, I don't want to stay alive. 3 effect draw. This deck still needs a bit of pieces, so I do appreciate the draw. And you don't really need France, because like, most of the time your attacks are perfect guarded because it's either, you know, this intimidating guy or this intimidating guy. So most people just perfect guard out of pure fear, which is the correct answer by the way. So you can just pick draw because you do need to actually cycle your pieces here and there. And Eidos Farah is your 9th critical trigger and help pulls back a card from draw. Which if you know, you did just murder Vergadale, right? So you can just take Vergadale back to the end and that's fine. Or you can just toolbox out anything. Really anything is fine in this deck. So yeah. And that wraps up my deck profile slash, you know, explanatory video for Phantom Blaster Overlord in 2025 with Vergadale. Very frankly, as I've stated before, I am really happy. I from the bottom of my heart, I'm really happy that I get to even talk about this deck. It's a deck that I never thought I would get the time to do this year, right? Like when I did the PBO video this year, most people went, man, don't waste my time, I'd rather just watch Jheva. But like the fact that I get the chance to do this video with PBO again just means the world to me. Because I really thought this year I would have to break tradition. Especially because, and I'm going to scream at the camera when I say this, tomorrow on Boxing Day, they are releasing Ganslot. Freaking Ganslot. Like, Kidani has me by the freaking balls at this point. He's like, no, I don't want you to talk about Alfred on Christmas Day. Why? Why, God? Why? I wanted everything to talk about Alfred. I've played Alfred at 2 different WGPs, 5 different regionals, 8 different locals. I was so ready to do an Alfred revisiting for this year. And they were like, no, we will release Ganslot the day after Christmas, so you dead ass cannot do that video. Fine. If that's what it takes, fine. Anyways, thematically, it is true that Aichi Sendo does play Shadow Paladins before going back to Ganslot and Alfred, so fine. Again, I love this deck. I really do. The fact that they give you a Shadow Paladin that you can search out and place the same as Kriduna means that they're really doubling down into the identity of PBO, which, while it does give me some concerns about, you know, it really does give me some concerns about the identity of this deck. I'm okay with this deck as a whole. I think right now, whether you play pure Shadow Paladins or with Catapult or not, I think either way, you're still gonna resort to sacking. And that's just facts. And for those of you who don't know what sacking is using Psycholia. That's what it means, okay? That's what it means. So, I think moving forward, because this is the very first PBO card in DivineZ, right? This is the very first one. I really don't know what the future of PBO will bring. I want them to be able to give more support that qualifies Vanguard as like a custom card, realistically, because this deck actually deserves it. So, because this is a pre-recording, I don't know if DZBT 12, right? I don't know if DZBT 12 will have the future support I'm begging for. Because there is a chance that they do give you some support, like say next year in like, I don't know, DZBT 15 or some nonsense. So whatever they print for PBO in the future needs to be looked out in the context of Vanguard, because Vanguard definitely is staying in this deck until Vanguard reboots. The only issue is that because it's energy, you can't play this in premium. But you know, it's okay. No one is rushing to play this in premium. Literally nobody. If you want to play premium, just play Luan, right? You guys love Luan, right? So yeah, again, I don't know. This video may become outdated very quickly because I don't know about the future support of PBO, but I really hope that whatever it is, they continue to support this deck in a manner that makes sense, because this deck has not gotten support in 3 years, man. 3 years. So, you know, I don't know. Again, we'll have to wait and see what they give. I am very excited for the future PBO, and I'm even more excited to do that Ganslot video down the line, because I am dying to play Ganslot, man. I am dying. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, I just want to take this time to say thank you. I know this isn't my end of year video yet. I know the end of year video tends to be where I get more sentimental and talk about like my thoughts on the year as a whole. But I think I'll just do it here as well, because this year has been pretty rough for me, both personally and as well as in terms of Vanguard, right? I'm not gonna lie, that is how it is. But I'm really glad that a lot of my videos have been picked up by a lot of you in a very positive manner. The Battles series doing really well as well. I am really glad. Very frankly, I am. It motivates me to at least keep going, at least this as a side besides my main job and me going back to school and my different responsibilities and all that. And I've also had some really great people, be it in person and online, that have supported me along the way, alongside my Savior Jesus Christ. So I am really grateful. So really thank you to everybody who has been there for me, who's helped me here and there. Yeah, I am definitely looking forward to this deck, not only this year. I'm looking forward to play Ganslot next year. I'm looking forward to just Vanguard next year, because it is our 15th anniversary, right? Like, I don't know what they're gonna do next year, but you know what? I hope they start out correctly. Basagra and ask Virina. Try she straight. Please try she straight. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.